All right, it's a hot morning show with Bekah and Mike D, back with a great friend of ours.
Yeah.
It's been too damn long since
Woo!
we've had you in studio.
I know.
I think the last time we chatted was over video during the pandemic.
Yes.
But flawless. Welcome back to Hot 106, man.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
We're so happy to have you be our first in-studio guest that we are collectively
together.
Together.
It feels a little normal now, right?
It does, man. It does. In our new studio, everything's shiny and bright in here now.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
So-
we should have brought the big scissors and the big ribbon
I got
for you
lost.
to cut.
I didn't know where I was for a second.
I know, yeah, you know.
I like that.
That's what we do. We're trying to glow up like you are right now, my man.
Man,
So
one day at a time.
you've been busy during the pandemic.
Yes, absolutely. Of course, trying to figure it out like everybody else, during COVID. When things first happened, I saw the way that, the tour being canceled, we had almost about 60, 70, secure dates for a tour.
Wow.
When that got canceled, I hit a bottom, because it was like really frustrating for me. I've worked hard for so long. The show hits, on Netflix and the buzz is there. And then just my luck, right? The entire world shuts down.
Mm-hmm.
So I then went over to the virtual space and I started to do like virtual shows. We did a university tour on Zoom. Like we were literally doing shows.
I remember that. Yeah.
Shout out to Team Rise, man. Red Eye Movies. We all figured it out. I was asking them to do stuff they've never done before. Like, hey, we need to switch cameras and go live on an app that's going to have 1 million people on it and make sure the network's secure and figure it out. I know you just do videos, but this is what we need you to do now.
Isn't it crazy to think about all the things that were happening at the beginning of the pandemic?
Oh, man.
You were trying to figure it out. Versus was popping off.
Yes.
And it's crazy to think of how far we've come since then. But you touched on something interesting. Going from such a high, coming off the Netflix show, booking 70 tour dates. And then it's like you hit that kind of low in a way. And I think a lot of us did.
Absolutely. I think the entire world did, especially with, the social injustices that were going on at the time and just everything that was happening. It was so much tension in the country with everybody being locked inside. And then, everything that happened with the George Floyd situation. And that actually deterred me from making music too, because I felt like it wasn't the time for that. Like it was just like we needed to heal as a country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that also held me from really going into the music. And then once I decided that I was going to get back into the studio and start recording again, I just felt like I didn't want to repeat the same steps that I've been doing. I was like, how can we figure it out without necessarily, I took a lot of meetings. We were always open to having a label deal, to signing with a major deal. It just never happened. You know what I mean? Let's just say that. And I'm not gonna bad talk anybody or this one reason or another. It never happened. I decided to stay independent and for many reasons. And I'm glad that I did. And I saw the NFT space now with COVID and everybody, the NFT space is getting big. And I honestly never understood it. I was like, what is an NFT? Like, you want to sell me a dancing monkey for $2,000 or $200,000? Like
monkey with like a gold
that
tooth?
I'm going to keep in my computer. Like, I didn't understand it. And it just wasn't tangible to me. But a lot of people started talking about the music and the NFTs. And I started doing a little bit more research into that world. And I said, well, how can I be a part of, the moving technology and the way that the world is moving without necessarily being as fraudulent as it seems? So I came up with a system that I'm coming up with now, which is We the Label, which allows the fans to now become the label. So I'm signing to the fans. I'm signing to the people. I am an artist of the people. So I figured out a way to allow the fans to buy streaming rights to the music. And then when the song gets streamed and the revenue comes in, they get paid. And now
incredible.
It becomes a situation where fans are now making money while they stream my music and benefiting, and we all are winning together. And on top of that, it goes levels beyond that, because now, let's say we're gonna have 1,000 shares of this particular single. So the 1,000 people that buy in are now, a part of We the Label. So now we're gonna be having label meetings on IG Lives. We're going to be letting them decide on artworks, on, next singles, giving opinions, making them feel like we really are a label. Yeah. So it's going to be more of an experience and a journey as they continue to build equity with me.
This is a whole new way of crowdsourcing.
And it's definitely original because, the NFT world, we've talked about it on the air. I've tried to explain it to my best abilities in here, and I still have a hard time understanding
Even though like we're partnering with FanApply with this, which is a platform for NFTs, so that way people that are familiar with NFTs can also purchase it. But I made it a way to where it's going to be directly from my website. You don't have to pay in Ethereum. You don't have to worry about like gas prices, all that stuff that NFTs is like the things I hated about it. I eliminated. You can pay in US dollars. You don't have to pay in Ethereum or anything. I think
that's huge.
I don't even know what Ethereum is.
Exactly. It's a type of cryptocurrency, and I think that's kind of where people get lost.
And that's what I didn't want to do. I wanted to stay away from that. So, this is just a way. It's really it's as black and white as it seems. Like the fans come in, you buy a piece of the song, you stream the song. When the revenue comes in from the streams, you guys get the revenue. And what does that do for me? Like I said, it allows me to get an advance from the fans. They're paying up front for the single, and I'm able to take that money and push my career forward as if I would have with a major label, but without giving away everything.
Right.
What do you say, Flawless, to the people who are still hesitant? Like you said about NFTs, you said yourself, you didn't really understand them. There's still a lot of people like myself who are still hesitant. What do you say to those people when they hear something like this?
Just watch the show, baby.
Yeah.
Because what we're going to do is, this is the first NFT. That's the reason why we're going to get so much, attention off of it, is because it's the first NFT that's built off an action. NFTs go up and down. You don't know why. Stocks go up and down. You don't even know why. You just hope and pray that it doesn't go down.
Real estate market goes up and down.
The real estate market goes up and down. My NFT will never go down. My stream money never disappears unless I spend it. But the money never goes down. It could only go up. So it's a definite investment for the fans to buy in. There's no buy low, sell high, none of that. It's buy in now, get the rights, stream it away, and build the equity on it. And the longer you hold it, the more it'll be. And that's allowing my fans to easily be a part of this world without having to really be a part of the BS.
Yeah. So it's basically what you're saying is, you purchase a single as if you were buying a song on the iTunes store or whatever, but instead of
directly from my website, we're not even worried about Billboard. See, I've gotten to a point where I'm so secure in who I am and what I am. I don't even care about charting. I don't care about how many sales it says I have. I'm selling directly to the fans. I know how many we sold. It don't matter if they count it or not.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of people were like, well, they're not really going to count it because you're kind of doing this and this and this. And I'm like, I don't care if they count it.
Yeah.
You think I'm here for them to count it? I'm here to break bread with the people and really make it about the fans. See, I feel like with my following now, right, we have about 700,000 followers.
Decent.
But the show brought a lot of flyby fans. And what I mean by that is, when I was independent before the show, I was building a core fan base, and I knew those exact numbers, and I knew I knew what markets were strong for me. I knew who was really supporting. And now it's become a little more blurred for me. Where like fans will see me, they'll comment, oh yeah, I remember you from Rhythm and Flow. And it's like, they're not really paying attention. So what this is going to do is it's going to really narrow down the fans that are really in tune with what I'm doing. Because as an independent artist, I really only need a certain amount of fans to be successful.
And then in a way, you get to see where your fans are, right? And you can gauge where then you can set up a tour.
I can communicate with them constantly. Like, this is something too. I'm not just selling you and having you figure out. We're going to be there every step of the way. Like I said, the meetings, I'm going to be letting them know how much the track is growing. Who needs to stream more? I'm going to have the analytics. Hey, this city, you're not doing enough.
Yeah.
You guys, you got 100 people that owned a piece of the record and you're not streaming. Tell your friends to tell a friend to stream the record.
Business.
Which also, like I said, I get the advance to be able to continue my career, but what does that do for my numbers? It shows strength in numbers when the people are working together for a cause. And what better cause than to make money for yourself? Help yourself by helping me.
Facts.
That's a vision. And, we've had Tech Nine in here before, who was like, an independent artist. You went on.
Yeah. Shout out to Tech, of course.
And
I did 48 cities with Tech. It was my first tour. And I learned everything about the independent touring game from Tech Nine.
And it's incredible because talking to you, and we've talked to you many times already, but you have a very similar vision, to be an independent artist. Like you said, hot off the show, we talked to you afterwards. You were saying you were in conversations with labels and there were opportunities out there. But for you, it always felt like it had to be what was right. And I think that's the difference. You're looking ahead. this is such a crazy thing. So what exactly, I want to know exactly how this thought process of this NFT of We the Label, how did that come about? Who brought it up first? Did you think of this through the NFTs? What was it?
It was me and my team, my partner Rick, and it's always brainstorming with me and just figuring out different ways to just be different. You know what I mean? Like our music speaks for itself, but right now the music isn't just doing it. Just the music doesn't do it. So you need to figure out a way to create a story. Mm-hmm. So for me, I was like, what better story than me giving back to the fans in a way that also helps me? See, this is not just like a greedy thing, or this is not also a charity case. I'm not just giving to the fans. This is really hand in hand. You guys are helping me build the numbers. You guys are helping me with continuing my career, and I'm helping you build equity and make money off of the music that you're enjoying. So it's really like, it's a hand in hand type of thing. So it's a beautiful thing. And when I came up with We the Label, it's because when I thought about, right now where I am in my career, I said the only way to really elevate is to take a major deal. Mm-hmm. And it still wasn't the ideal situation for me. So I was like, I'm assigned to the people and I'm going to create this concept and I'm going to go with it and see how it works. And it may work. It may not work. You don't know.
It's a risk you take.
It's a risk I take. But every time I jump off the cliff, I fly, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, if you think about visionaries like Diddy and DJ Khaled and Jay-Z, it's like they all had this vision.
Yeah.
And then they just took a chance on themselves. Like if you're, who else is going to bet on you better than yourself?
Better than yourself.
And it's gotten you this far, and it's been incredible to kind of witness it. And, help be a part of that story and like help let you come in here and tell your story.
Thank you.
But the music side, you said kind of during the pandemic, you felt it was a weird place to make music, being in a creative space. What kind of not got you back, but what kind of like took it to the next level? Find a Way is a new single coming out. What got you into that headspace again?
Just being ready to communicate again with the world.
Mm-hmm.
I needed, it was a dark place for the world, but it also was a very dark place for me. Like I was building a family, you know what I mean? So that was very, juggling, but also not being able to really move around, not being able to do much. It really took a toll on my mental health. So before I could even be the inspiring artist that I am, I had to take care of my mental health. So I took a while to really, just find myself, figure out what kind of music I want to make, figure out how I want to move forward, figuring out this plan also helped me get back into motion, because once I have a plan and execution, I know where I'm going, and that allows me to really be like, okay, now it's time to get the music done. Mm-hmm. And now I'm ready to talk to the world because I have a plan. Sometimes when I'm in la la land, so to speak, with COVID, we all were not knowing when it was going to end, what was going to happen.
Right.
I couldn't move because I didn't have a target. I work better with targets, so once I had my target, I was able to get back into grind mode. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Right. Perfect timing for all this to kind of come about.
If you could, as somebody who people look up to, kind of share some of your tips. And when you mentioned going through the struggle during the pandemic, and we all did, how did you kind of get out of that funk a little bit?
I think a few times I tried to force myself out of it. Like, with positive thinking, like, yeah, I'm back.
Yeah.
Yes. And then like the next day I'm like, I'm not back.
I'm not back.
I'm far from back. I'm actually worse than I was yesterday.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I realized that it just takes time. You really don't know how long it's going to take, but being positive, being around people that you love, that love you unconditionally, you know what I mean? That's very important. And I think just remaining positive in your head and knowing that no matter how tough it gets, it's always a period of time.
That's all it is. Yeah.
If you stay, like, if something happens to me today, right? Like, let's say I'm not trying to get sentimental, but I recently lost my cat. Right?
Oh man. Sorry to hear that, bro.
I know.
Sorry.
I might sound like a wussy, but
no, man. No, it's all good.
You're in good company.
I recently lost my cat. It really affected me because it was like the first time an animal has died, in my care. So my cat passed away, and it's just like that grieving process of trying to get through those thoughts. And if I stay stuck in those thoughts, I'm never going to get out of that. Right. So if something happens to you today, for example, like I said, my cat died, you have to figure out a way to get through that as quickly as you can so you can move forward. I can't sit and dwell about my tour being canceled for 8 months.
Right.
Because 8 months have passed and I'm still hurting over the same thing. I gotta get over this hurt now because I'm never going to see the other side. It's going to be 2 years and I'm still mad about a tour that got canceled 11 months ago.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So like these type of things that happen to you, you have to just try to face them and try to think positive, but also try to get through them, because you could sit in that same time frame of life. You know, if you lose a girlfriend and you're dwelling over that girlfriend for the next 2 years, you've never moved forward, you know? So I think that's the key, is to stay positive and always try to move forward in your thinking.
Which, of course, is challenging in itself. You know, one of the best, you know, to piggyback off of that, one of the best bits of advice I struggled with mental health over the years, has been thankfully in a good place, you know, probably within the last year or so. But the biggest bit, you know, thing that always kind of helped me was making sure you do feel that. Like, you can't just ignore it. It's not like, hey, you know, I got to kind of, like you said,
you have to acknowledge it.
Exactly.
First.
Sometimes you try to hype yourself up, and then all you realize, you're just making it worse because you're never really experiencing it and feeling it. You have to allow yourself to feel it, and then you have to allow yourself to move forward.
And it was actually the first time that a loss, so to speak, like quote unquote loss, affected me, because normally coming up like on my grind, I would fall and it would only drive me. Like every failure was like, oh, okay, watch this. And then for the first time, like, I think I was just exhausted. You know, like when something you grind for 10 plus years and then you get a Netflix show and the response is crazy.
Huge.
You're there, and it kind of like gives you that sense like, okay, it's happening. You can almost let out a sigh of relief in a sense, like, you know, the hard work is about to begin, but it's going to be worth it. And then everything shuts down, and I just felt like all the gas and air got let out of me. You know what I'm saying? So it was the first time that I didn't feel motivated off a loss. So I had to really pick myself off the ground on that one. And I'm glad that I did. And it only showed me that God really has a plan for everything, because it allowed me to take time to be there for my son, you know what I mean, for the first 2 years of his life, which are important. And also come up with this idea and this new blueprint that I'm going to be doing. So I'm really grateful. You know, I don't think God makes any mistakes. So,
and I think that's a great story. It being Mental Health Awareness Month, and the fact that you have this brand new venture, exciting, you know, really a first of its kind. And it's a story of you kind of hitting a low mentally inside your own head and just digging yourself out and now on an ultimate high, and hopefully continue to just continue,
one day
get
at
higher.
A time.
Yeah. One day at a time.
That's all it is, man. You know what I mean? I had the whole 2020 planned from January to December. I had planned literally, like, I couldn't believe it. Like, it was like that moment of
that was probably the first time you had an entire year booked.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Oh, of course. And then I realized that I'll never do that again, because I need to focus on today.
Right.
One day at a time.
It's a good lesson.
One day at a time.
Definitely a good lesson. So the business side of it sounds incredible.
Yeah, we the label. Anybody that wants to be a part of this, May 27th is when it starts. It'll be available on flawlessmusic.com. You guys can buy shares of the record and then stream the record when it drops on May 27th. And then once the stream money starts hitting and accumulating, you guys will gain equity and we can get it together. And make sure you tune in. Follow me on social media at FlawlessRI. Always repping Rhode Island everywhere I'm at. And be a part of the meetings, be a part of the process, be a part of the decision makings, be a part of We the Label. This is for the people. It's for the artists, powered by the people.
We're excited, man. We're pumped. We were super happy. We kind of got you right in here to talk about it.
Thank you.
I do have to ask though about the music, man. We're excited about the music. What can we expect from Find a Way?
Find a Way is more of an introduction to me coming back, you know, and where the mental state is, you know, and just thinking about not really needing validation anymore. You know, I worked my whole career for validation. I think, and I think that's why I remember when we had our first interview and I was telling you guys how upset I was with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Because I felt like I wasn't getting the validation. And after, you know, I guess it's naive to say after getting all these, like after doing BET and after doing that, like, but honestly, like, I just don't care about being validated anymore. Like, I'm not looking to be validated by anybody. I'm validated within. And I think that has been the most important thing that's come out of my mental struggle over the last 2 years, is not worrying about being validated. I'm going to validate myself with the people that really are with me. And I'm going to have a great career, and I'm going to be truthful. I'm going to be real. I'm never going to have to be gimmicky. I'm never going to have to do that dumb stuff that people do to go viral. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm good with exactly where I'm at, man. And I'm at peace with that. And I think now I think it's going to be the greatest music, the greatest move making. You know, it's going to be the greatest time of my life because I no longer am looking for that validation.
Flawless, man. It's incredible. We're so happy to be back in studio.
Yeah, so together.
It feels right. Happy. It feels right. We got Find a Way, We the Label, May 27th, just around the corner.
Yes.
Super exciting, man. And we're so happy and can't wait to see how far this goes, man.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure.
Bring us along on the journey, as always.
Always, man. You already know I'm always going to come through for y'all.
Thanks, bro.
Appreciate it.